Reverend Al Sharpton is with us, and Reverend Sharpton, I went ahead and I hope it was okay, and I announced that National Action Network would be there Thursday at First Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in Sanford. We're going to broadcast live and join you there. And first off, thanks for responding so early this morning.
Well, no problem. No, it's not only all right. You and I, Micheal Baisden, many are going in because this case is about as bad as it gets. When you have an unarmed young man killed for no reason and they refuse to arrest the assailant, then it puts all of us under threat. This stand your ground law in Florida is absurd. To say that someone that is a non-law enforcement official, you and I, Joe, have had to fight police shootings for decades. But here we have someone who's not even a policeman that they're saying has the right to stop and then get in an altercation and kill someone and use self-defense as a excuse when the young man had no weapon, was engaged in no crime, and had the legal right to be where he was. Then what are we talking about? Anyone then can walk up in the state of Florida and do anything and say, I felt threatened. The person looks suspicious. It's self-defense. I emphasize this assailant, Zimmerman, is not a policeman, not in law enforcement, had no legal or constitutional right to do anything to Trayvon Martin, less known kill him. And they refuse to arrest him. We have to be there, and we'll be there Thursday night, and all of us will be there together.
We also found out through some callers that this police department, matter of fact, Sherry, could you hand me that article? This police department has had an ongoing problem, as I suspect you knew, as I knew. These aren't these aren't isolated incidences, but the former chief of police had to resign because apparently his son had been in an altercation beating up a homeless person, and the sergeant who refused to arrest this son, way this story is told, was the same officer involved in this case. There's been ongoing problems with the Sanford Police Department and the community, and I take it you've probably heard the same thing.
No doubt about it. From our National Action Network Florida people, Reverend Ronald Durham over at Daytona Beach and others, say that it is well known that there is a history in the Sanford Police Department and that there's been activists in Sanford that have said they've been trying to raise attention for years, and this may be the thing to bring it to the forefront. I think what is shocking is that this young man has been dead 3 weeks.
Yes.
And we've not seen the national outrage until now, which is why you and I and others are going in. This happened 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And when I heard about it 10 days ago, Attorney Crump, who represents the family, called us, and I put him immediately on my daily show, and then I put him on the MSNBC show. But and he and I worked together. You remember years ago there was a killing in boot camp in Florida that we all had to fight for, get that family justice.
Right.
He was the attorney in that case, so we have a history of working together. He's a very competent and good lawyer. But I think that this case here in Sanford, in the backdrop of the history of that police department, is glaring, and we must force the Justice Department and others to come in because clearly local law enforcement does not want to protect the rights of the Martin family.
Yeah, in talking last night with the president of the NAACP, and I understand they're holding a town hall meeting tomorrow, but I talked with the young man who heads up that county's NAACP, and he said one of the reasons it took 3 weeks for it really to get out was the fact that the police department was doing all it could to suppress the incident. They didn't want it to get out, and that appears that probably the county prosecutor must have been involved in it too.
Yeah, it appears that it had to have been some cooperation between the county prosecutor and the police, and clearly they had to suppress the information. But now that it is out, it's our responsibility to keep it out until we get justice for this family.
All right, so it will be Thursday, 7 p.m., First Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in Sanford, Florida, right outside of Orlando, correct?
That is correct.
All right, and we're all set. We're ready. We will broadcast that rally live. We're going to make sure that it is on the Power here on SiriusXM. So if people can't be there, at least around the country, across the country, they will be part of it because we all need to be outraged, but we need to be informed. And we'll talk, Reverend, and I appreciate you so much and getting this together in National Action Network. And we'll get with Micheal, and we'll all be there. I thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Well, thank you, Joe, and thank you for making sure the nation will hear what we do there Thursday night.
And we'll play it again on Friday morning.